Start over again.
Alrighty.
Just put it on there.
Thank you. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so again,
Start again because I don't think they can hear you.
that's all right. Yeah, I want to make sure that everybody is able to hear. But our topic for today is anger and resentment. And again, my name is Lucretia Newbill. I get to be one of the instructors here at Nirodha. And when we go into anger and resentment, we really have to understand that it is a part of life, right? It's an emotion that we may feel from time to time, but understanding that though we may feel emotions, there's proper ways to handle it, and everybody handles it in a different way. But we have to do it in a way that's healthy for us, right? So when we think about it, right, while it's a normal feeling, it is normal. Um, it can also be harmful if we're not managing it in the proper way. Okay. So when we talk about it today, we're going to talk about the causes, we're going to talk about the effects, and any ways that we can manage them. But first off, what I want to do, because I think it's really important to understand the definitions of things, right? Because we can talk about anger, we can talk about resentment, and we can understand, maybe it's this feeling that I have inside, but there is a definition that goes along with it. So I want to talk about that really quick. So we talk about the definition of anger. It's a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. And so, what word sticks out in that definition to me is hostility. And I think when we're looking at definitions, we really need to go in to understand. Like, there's the definition of a word, but then there's also words within that definition that sometimes we don't understand and we really need to dig deeper into. So, when we think about hostility, what is it? Like hostile behavior, okay. But unfriendliness or opposition, okay? And we think about the definition of resentment. It's bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. So, what's bitter? Like that word really stands out to me. So, bitter, angry, hurt, or resentful goes back to that resentful, right? Because of one's bad experiences or a sense of unjust treatment. And the other word that stands out, right? We talk about bitter indignations, part of resentment. So, indignation, what is that? Anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as an unfair treatment. So I think it's really important, like when we think about everything as a whole and anger and resentment, now we have a better understanding of it. And so we can talk about it a little easier, right? So, what causes anger and resentment? So, there are so many different emotions that can flood in when you're experiencing a different anger or resentment in different situations. So, some of the effects of it that we see pretty often when we're dealing with those things, like high blood pressure and heart disease, they can really come from anger and resentment as it just harbors within your body. You can have digestive problems and headaches. I know years ago when I was, dealing with a lot of anger, I had a lot of headaches and migraines because I was just so full of the anger and resentment, right? That came along with the experiences that I dealt with in my daily life. So, depression and anxiety, that's a big one that we see, right? People experience that on a regular basis and may not understand that it's just an experience, it's something that they're dealing with because of what they're harboring in their body. Relationship problems, we know that can come up, and decreased productivity and performance when you're in your daily life at work, school, friendships, going back to those relationships. So let's talk about like how we can effectively communicate, feelings when we're dealing with the anger and resentment. And really like how to effectively communicate when there's conflict. So can any of you think of times when you've had to communicate when you're angry or when you're resentful towards someone and you're in conflict? When you're in conflict, you're in a situation where you're in conflict with that person? 20?
Daily
Okay.
basis.
Yeah. So what comes
I
up for
work in
you?
a pretty hostile environment.
Yeah.
It's a factory. We have a lot of old school veterans, a lot of military ways, a lot of strong attitudes.
Strong attitudes you're
And
dealing
you
with?
gotta learn to just, I've learned to just, sometimes I won't even voice my opinion, I just turn around.
Yeah. So you feel the anger and resentment when you're in this situation and you don't voice your opinion, you just walk away.
Yeah, just walk away. It's like, there's no, I just look at some of the people like, there's no change in this person's attitude, regardless of how I feel about the current situation. And it could be something simple. You know, but there's no change in that person's attitude or way whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's like, why take the time to even voice my opinion? I would rather just walk away and leave it set there, and it's left there, and I'm done.
Yeah. So if you're in that situation where you're angry and you know that like that other person you're in conflict with that other person, you don't necessarily go back and forth with them. You'll just walk away because you know you can't change them. Okay. All right. What else? Anybody?
It's best not to try to communicate when you are in the angry mood.
Yeah.
Just
That's it.
because you're not going to have a clear mind to say, to use the right speech, right? So to choose the right words, and so it is better to communicate after you compose yourself, after you've given the situation some thought, and after you have thought of the way of approaching it. So, to me, when you're angry, it's best to not try to communicate. Well, for me anyway, because the communication at that point is not going to be effective. As compared to if you take a few minutes to compose yourself, or go away, think about it, come back, and then you can still approach that person, but you're not going to approach that person.
Yeah.
Because when we are in the angry mode, I think and awareness is kind of blinded by that anger, by that mood.
So I hear you saying like it's good to compose yourself and not to say things that you haven't thought through when you're in that situation. So to compose yourself and then to address the issue at a later time.
I think the human nature is to react. When someone upset you or say something that is not fair or treating you in our nature is to react. It's here. It's deep in our mind, and we will start with the unpleasant thought. Feeling upset, feeling that you have not been treated. You're sad, and so it's the mixed bag of emotion at that time. It's not just anger. It's a mixture of different emotions. Hurt, yeah. And so in that situation, it's very easy to just react and retaliate. Some people would shout or would curse or would say. I think that if we learn the fact that we do have different ways of approaching, and oftentimes that human reaction is.
Yeah. Understanding that we have different ways of approaching things, right? And that some people, what I heard you say is that some people react in different ways where like you can harbor the feelings, you can be angry and curse, and react in certain ways that aren't really healthy, right?
And we all do it at some point. We have gone through it because it's the human nature. I mean, we don't get to the point where we are composed and come back and or come back and talk to that person in a calm way, in a loving way, in an understanding way. It's very hard. I mean, we all go through life learning how to do it. As kids, I don't know. There may be some kids out there who know how to do it right at the bat, but most kids will just, if you watch them, they react, and we were like kids at one point, and we behaved like that at one point, and as we grow through the adulthood, we learn that we can't do that anymore. It doesn't bring about the good result.
Yeah. Some of us learn, right? As adults, some adults learn.
Learn to know is powerful.
Mm.
That
No.
When there is a conflict, you say it in your head. You can either say it in your head, or if it's a reaction with that person, or a no or a yes is available, and you're angry, it's easier to use the word no, but no does not mean no. It just means give me time to think, because I don't want to react violent, Sean, or angry, Sean.
Right.
I want to. I try to do it. I try just as good as anyone else does. Sometimes it doesn't always work with some people, because some people are just looking for it.
So when you said that you respond with no, do you respond in your head with no, or do
Yeah.
you verbally respond with
It
no?
depends on the situation. If I can say no out loud, I will say no. But a lot of times I will just say no in my head and when I turn and walk away, I've said no, because I'm not going to react.
So you're saying no, that I'm not going to react.
Yeah, I'm not going to react. Give me time to think about this and talk to you about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, it took me a long time to get to that.
Yeah, I think I'm still
Especially
learning.
when you're young and you have kids. Like I had 3 kids by the time I was 20. And raising a family and trying to be a father. In the 90s, there's really no self-help groups. It's nothing like it is now. I could have went and found, some class where, hey, you try this, where there would be plenty of suggestions. There wasn't a YouTube that you could look up, fatherly advice, anything. You just went by what you were taught. And if you were taught, sometimes anger can be taught to you by the adults around you. And they don't know that, because we talked about the butt whippings the last time. We don't know that that's being taught around us. I never put a hand on my kids growing up. Not once. I just look at them and say, you screwed up. You pay for it. You do it.
So you didn't show your kids that anger. That's good. What were you going to say, Dr. Trim? You were going to say something.
I said, I'm still learning. It's very difficult to be 100% aware, because, what I find is that we let our guard down the most with our family members, it's just like we go out in the world and you can be really good outside in the world and be polite and treating everybody, but then when you come home, because I think you take advantage of the loved one about you,
Yeah.
and that you think that they will forgive you if, but I think that is where I find myself being having the weakness. I don't know if you feel the same, but when we are out there in the world, we are able to hold the anger inside. But at the the end of the day, you come home, you let it out with your spouses and your kids, and you just let it out. But I don't know whether it's good or not. And sometimes we feel like we need to do that, but I sometimes I ask myself, do I really need to do that? Because my spouse and my children, they don't need to be taking all of that negativity from me. So I guess, the aware of how expression of emotion to anyone.
Yeah. And that's interesting that you say that, because you do, like you said, what I heard you say is that, anger, sometimes like how to hold it when you're around other people, and you can be really kind and just bubbly, and just, they think you're the nicest person in the world, and then you get home and your family, the ones that you love the most, they feel it, because now you've let your guard down, and you know that they are going to love you regardless. But it's not always the best thing, because even though family is there, they don't always have to be there. And we need to be able to respect individuals as individuals, and not just certain individuals.
Sometimes you may feel that we have the right to feel that way, because if that happened to me, I have the right to be angry. I have the right. But, do you really have to get that right? Is that a right?
Right.
To be angry? I don't know if they feel the same, but sometimes we may feel that, yes, it's justified. My emotion is justified because of that horrible thing that happened to me. But I think I've learned now that we can make the choice not take that, and that not go down that route.
Yeah.
Because, yes, it is in human nature that we have that emotion, anger, resentment, or whatever, but we can make the choice not to take it, not to express it, because now we're in this mindfulness meditation, we learn how to be aware and make good choices instead of taking that option, of expressing anger. We can take the option, make the choice of expressing compassion and love.
Right.
Instead.
Yeah. We have a choice. Yeah, we have a choice. What were you going to say, Dana?
Well, I think it's a manifestation of good self-control and power if you can avoid a conflict. I mean, to step out of a conflict, let it cool down. You'll think it's completely different if you're not on the edge of fighting mode. So silence is not ignorance. So just because you step back and don't say anything doesn't mean you're weak. Contrary, you're a lot stronger than the other person.
Yeah.
If you choose to step out.
Too is, hey, I've walked away from conflict. Ignorance isn't stupidity or anything like that. But now, because I've walked away, my pride's hurt because I didn't say nothing.
Trust me, the other person there is full of anger. It's a lot more hurt than you, because she didn't get satisfaction of his actions. So you're way ahead. The other person is suffering out because he didn't have fulfillment of his point of view.
Anger's a big one for me, because working in a factory, you deal with anger all day. And it's like a time bomb. It's like bombs are set everywhere in that place. And I'm going around, okay, and I look at everybody, their facial expressions, the way they walk, the way they move, the way they talk, before I engage with someone. I'm feeling their vibe before I even get to them. And if their vibe, is not right, I will avoid that person at that time. Because I have to go around, I've got signatures I've got to get, tag things, and during this process, I'm talking do this whole plan of 1,200 people. I'm dealing with a lot of people. And it's not just me that does that, it's each and every one of our quality inspectors at work do this. And because we're coming out and saying something's wrong with something, anger is going to pop up because this machine has to be fixed, this person's going to get moved, they're worried if they're going to get moved from where they're at, they might have to do something different, it's out of the ordinary for them. So you're dealing with all these emotions. Get you.
Yeah.
So the time you go home.
So let's think like in 30 seconds, each of you, how do you feel when anger and resentment manifests in your body?
Okay, physically or mentally?
30 seconds, how you feel?
My first thought is to attack. That's how I was raised. Second thought is, don't say anything, my pride's going to be hurt. And I got to suck that up. And if I engage, I'm going to win at all costs.
Okay. What about you, Dr. Chen?
When I feel like
And that's
angry,
not good.
Yeah.
I just don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My head, right, is tight, and I may develop a headache later on. My body, I just don't feel at peace. And actually, I'm the one who am affected. I don't know if the person I'm angry towards have any effect on that person or not, but for me, definitely, I just don't feel good the whole day. That
Yeah.
angry, it doesn't. It takes me a while to get out of that anger mood, and then it will bother my mind. It's in my mind, and then it manifests in my body because I would develop either headache or muscle tension, neck pain, or shoulder pain. But yeah, if I do, but nowadays, luckily, I don't get into that thing.
Yeah.
Angry mood that often. There was a time years ago.
Yeah.
That happened.
What about you, Dana?
Frustration and unsatisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you feel like a different sensation in your body?
But absolutely, you're tense.
Mm-hmm.
You're tense.
Yeah, being tense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This too shall pass.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exhaustion is another one.
Yeah.
You can exhaust yourself being angry. And the old saying, use more muscles to be sad and angry in your face than to be happy. Like, we're happy now. I believe all of us are in this room. Think how you feel now, and then when you're angry, you're probably sitting on the couch and for no reason. Where you could be how we are now.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
That's why I try to keep with me all day is to just be happy. It's just easier.
Yeah.
Laugh at every situation.
Think, well, there are plenty of ways to deal with anger and resentment, right? And we're here today at the Meditation Center. So, what do? Right? We meditate. We meditate. So, we're going to go into a meditation, all right? We're going to do a seated meditation to start, and then we'll go into the other different kinds of meditations. So, I want to make sure that you all get comfortable, find a comfortable seated position where you're at, and you can go ahead and close your eyes or have a soft gaze towards the ground. All right, and just take a few moments to scan your awareness through the sensations of your body. And wherever possible, just soften and release any obvious areas of physical tension. And we can begin our practice by establishing our home base in breathing. So, of course, there are many possible anchors to hold our attention, such as sound or sensations throughout their body. The most common, and again, the one that we'll use today, is our breath. So as we begin our practice, just breathe naturally and just notice where your breath is easiest to detect and where the breath also feels pleasant or at least natural. So you might pay attention to how your breath feels as it flows in and out of your nose, in your nose or out of your mouth. And you might feel a touch of your breath around your nostrils or on your upper lip. Or perhaps you feel the movement of your chest or the rising and the falling of your abdomen. Or perhaps you feel your whole body like a balloon expanding with the in-breath and deflating with the out-breath. So just take some moments to bring your attention to the sensations of breathing in one of these areas, a relaxed attentiveness. And there's no need to control your breath. Rather, just sense that you're receiving the breath much like you'd listen to sound. And with a relaxed awareness, discover what the breath is really like as a changing experience of sensations. This life breath is your home base, a place to rest and be aware. So in these next few moments, simply relax as the breath comes in and notice what it's like, and relax with the exhale. Let go. And again, notice the immediate experience of sensations. Notice where your attention is. You might find that your mind has drifted off into your thoughts. This is completely natural. The mind is conditioned to move off into thinking about the future and the past. And when you become aware of thinking, you might use a soft and friendly mental note. Just say thinking, thinking, and then pause and simply relax. Just open the attention again, aware of the sounds around you. Relaxing your body. Feeling the aliveness in your body. Relax the sensations around your heart and releasing any unnecessary tension. And without any judgment, just allow yourself to gently return again to the inflow and outflow of your breath. Let your breath be an intimate friend, a home base that reconnects you with your own presence. And as you resettle with your breath, you might notice other experiences. The background sounds, perhaps, of the air as it blows in the room, or even a car passing by, or a bird chirping outside. Just notice the sounds. You might feel sensations of warmth or coolness. Whatever's in the background can be there without drawing you away. Just to continue to rest with the breath, to relax with the breath, with the intention of noticing when you can, when you drift off into thought. And if you discover that the mind has drifted again, simply pause, relax, open the attention. Without any judgment, come back to this moment and breathe. And if you've been holding on to anger or resentment, as you continue to breathe deeply, imagine yourself letting go of the anger and resentment that you've been holding on to. Visualize it leaving your body as you exhale. And imagine yourself becoming lighter and just more peaceful with each and every breath that you take. Just remember that the thoughts are not your enemy. You don't have to clear your mind completely of your thoughts. Rather, understand that you're developing the capacity to recognize when thoughts are happening without getting lost in that storyline. And each time you notice that you've drifted or notice you've gotten lost, it's an opportunity to strengthen your muscle of remembering again, arriving here and now, and gently coming back into living presence. And as you notice the mind getting quieter, you might sense the peace that arises when you relax even more and immerse your entire awareness into the inflow and the outflow of the breath. Breathing in, know that you are breathing in. And breathing out, know that you are breathing out. Be aware of the beginnings and the endings of each breath fully. Here, awake and in presence. Now take a few more moments to focus on your breath and allow yourself to feel a sense of calm and inner peace.
Just remember that anytime you need to return to your breath as your home base, you can quiet and collect your mind. Always know that you can. Simply bring a full yet gentle attention to your breath. Relax with the in-breath and relax with the out-breath. And sense into the body and then come back and continue on with your activities. Now when you're ready, you can slowly, gently open your eyes and return back to this space. Welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and do some stretching, as I know that the breath, we need to move our bodies.
I'd like to try it.
Thank you. All right, you go ahead and stretch your legs out. Get some blood flowing through our legs. And start there. Just massaging the lower part of our legs. All right, now let's start at the top of our body and work ourselves down, okay? So we're going to take our energy, our hands together, get it going. Yes, take these off. And take the energy and place it on your face, your eyes. Gently massage forehead, onto your temples, your cheeks. Pushing your cheeks up, getting them ready to smile. And back up your temples and to your crown. Massaging your crown, taking the energy from your hands and sharing it with the other parts of your body. And taking your thumbs and just right here, right above the base of your neck, right where your skull, it's right before your head hairline, right here. Take your thumbs and just massage that area. Going down the base of your neck. Releasing the tension from your neck. And taking one hand to the other side of your head. You pull a little bit, just a little. Take the other hand and gently tug your ear to release the fascia. Ear all the way up from the bottom to the top and back to the bottom again. And then taking your 2 fingers, going around the ear, just gently massaging. Showing yourself love in this process. And switching hands. Again, taking that V around your ear. And then pulling, gently tugging the ear from the base to the top, releasing the fascia. And starting on one side with your shoulder, taking your hand to your shoulder, your back, releasing that area that we get so much tension in from our jobs, whether seated or dealing with people, which is great. And then take it to the other side. Take it down your arm, front side, and then the back. And not to forget about your hands and starting with your palm. And up through each one of your digits. And then to the other arm, down the front.
Every squirrel comes and lays and looks inside. What are they doing?
I wish I had hands like that to massage. Back to the palm. Into each one of the digits on the opposite hand. Working on. Right, and taking both of your hands to the lower back. Just taking a massage in the back, waking it up, but relaxing it. Feels good, huh?
Yep.
Into your hips. To left or right leg, whichever you choose to do first. Make sure you don't miss behind your kneecap. That's often an area that we miss and we don't show love to. Down your leg. Not to your feet yet. Just down your leg to your ankle. So we're going to do the other leg before we get to the feet. It's kind of nice to do both feet back to back. I think anyway. All right, to the other leg. Get behind that kneecap. Don't forget the ankle. All right, let's go to the feet. All right, starting your heel, just taking the top part of your foot and the heel and just moving it just a little bit. And taking your fingers and massaging up the foot. Taking both hands to massage the top of the foot. Bending it down, up, some movement in there. Onto each toe. Massaging. And then gently tugging at each toe. Massage again to relax it. Going to the other foot. Again, holding the top, taking the bottom, and gently moving it. You got it. You got it. Massaging up the foot into all of the foot, both hands into each toe. Gently tugging at each toe. How's everybody feeling? Good. Good. Well, I'm going to relax a little bit more with a laying meditation and understanding that some people, when you lay, get really, really relaxed. So the point is just to stay present. And don't worry if you doze, I will bring you back with the bell. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take your position. And for those on YouTube, find a comfortable position to either lay flat. You can prop your legs up with a bolster if that's comfortable. And even while you're here, if you want to take the seat and just prop your legs with the bolster, you can, yeah. There you go. Just put it like right under here. Yeah. Brings a little bit more comfort. Put it under here. Yeah, yeah. And if you want to put a pillow or the seat under your head, yeah. Yeah, up under here so that your leg's not, there you go. There you go. All right. This will be a silent laying meditation. Just for a few moments, we'll bring you back with the bell. So no need to wonder if I'm going to start talking when it's time to come back. You will hear the bell. Go ahead and gently open your eyes. Turn to whichever side you feel comfortable laying on your side before you get up. Just lay on your side. Enjoying the peace and comfort and relaxation before we step back into the world. But always remembering that you can take everything that you've learned in all your meditative practices with you, with each and every encounter that you experience. And when you're ready, just pushing up your side into your seated position. Mm-hmm.
Muscle tension and muscles that I didn't even knew they're there.
Yes.
And pull your knees through your chest a few times.
Really?
Yeah. Then it
Like halfway here is like, oh, there.
Oh, right at the bottom,
The
the
middle.
base. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a stretch that I like to do where you take your hands behind your bed, your head, and you're on edge of something. Put your legs out like this and just put your elbows onto that space and just open up. Opens up your tailbone area as well. Yeah. Well, welcome back, everyone. So let's chat a little bit about our meditation today and how you felt, any thoughts that were going through your head as we were going through practice or even through the discussion. And don't want to limit you on what you have to say or what you may want to. Hello.
Well, hi. Thank you very much for guiding the meditation today, Patricia. I found the sitting meditation went by very fast to me for some reason, 20 minutes, but it felt like 10 or something. So, yeah, so I must have been deep into meditation. Yeah, I think it's very relaxing. I did feel like I fell asleep a little bit when I was on the mat. so
That happens.
I'm trying to bring it up. So yeah, so I think that I was not meditating effectively there because meditation is about being awake and aware and not falling asleep in a sleepy state. So
Sometimes
yeah.
your body just wants to relax
Mhm,
and take
yeah.
you to that point of rest
Yes.
and relaxation.
Right. Yeah.
It's aware of what you need.
Yeah. I think your body tells you what it needs for sure. Yeah, because I think last night I didn't have a good restful sleep somehow. I don't know why. Maybe that's why I fell asleep during laying down meditation.
Maybe. And maybe you weren't asleep. Maybe you were just completely.
Well, it's been feeling good. I'm glad I came today. I kind of debated if I could make it in time, but I'm glad I did. I feel good. Especially with the laying down. I have to do this more often.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I was kind of hesitant to keep us laying for longer because I know that people will drift.
I
Or
could
that
have just
could
as
be
well.
uncomfortable. I know I will go into a whole nother place, and so for me, it's like staying present.
It was good. I got to do this more often.
Good, good.
Lay flat.
Yeah, yeah. And if, like I said, if you need to